I'd like to call the meeting to order, and we'll start with the director's report, new business, old business.
Okay. Well, we've got two presentations to share with you tonight. I'm going to jump into the first one, then Michael will go, and then we'll kind of, I guess, backtrack, and then I'll come back to you with my regular day-to-day update. So, this is very exciting. If you are not already aware of some of the good things we've been doing behind the scenes, we have an update, a great update for you for the 400 acres. We're trying to keep you posted, but in the last couple of months, we've really made some great traction with this project. We have been doing a lot of work. As you'll recall, this is the 400 acres that council and mayor and council approved to purchase, going on almost 2 years now. Tons of potential, lots of land to get things, just sky's the limit sort of concepts. In order for us to get that process started, we did go out for RFQs. We got 5 responsive bidders, and they were firms from all over the place, great firms from across the country. I mean, we really were very fortunate to have some great folks to choose from. We did go through an evaluation process with a committee of several members of both city staff and council members, and we were able to evaluate on a really sort of objective view. And so we narrowed it down, and we did 3 interviews. Four interviews out of the 5, and they all came to us and did like a demonstration. So we really did a very a nice process. We ended up with one firm actually out of North Carolina. It's McAdams. McAdams was a very well-versed, very well-rounded firm that has some great people on their team, really people that are coming to the table with a lot of sports experience, engineering experience. They were extremely well versed in this sort of exactly what we're looking for, big picture, and then also what do we need to do to make this happen. So while we don't have anything set in stone, this is obviously all part of the process. What we wanted to do was make sure we had a firm that could think outside the box on a big picture for us. And I really think we did that with this McAdams contract. So we were really happy to go before council last week at Tuesday's meeting and showed them the same slides, and they gave us the green light to go ahead and move forward to execute a contract. So that said, that means we are going to really move forward. We have a couple of things that's going to happen with this contract. We have the base contract, which is going to be about the initial information and getting us started with some public engagement, stakeholders, citizens feedback, your feedback, all of that is really part of this first phase. And then there's going to be certain phases that will follow after that, because of course there's a lot of ideas that are going to come out of those public input phases. And so we want to make sure that we capture all of that and then move forward with everything else that needs to happen. So we have several phases, and we're going to kind of award those phases as we go along. So for this first phase, we're talking about a market analysis and public involvement. So market analysis is that question of what is it that the community could support, would look like? What is it that we could potentially do here? And you tie that in with the public involvement, the public feedback, stakeholders groups, everything that we want to hear from our citizens to both complement such a large project as well as our local recreation needs. So we're really hoping to tie in everything, and so that when we walk away from this, we have a great sense of what it is it's going to be able to be supported in 400 acres, as well as our own recreation needs and what our citizens are looking for. So we're not going to leave anything left on the table as far as unknowns, and we'll be able to move forward with that. So the first phase is going to include that. In addition to that, we're going to walk away with a document. For those of you who are aware, we have a really nice comprehensive master plan we did many moons ago. From a grant standpoint, they're good for 10 years, and we've kind of come and gone on that 10 years. We did the other one we presented to you about 2 years ago, but this is going to tie in with that from a public assessment piece. What is it that the public are looking for? What is it that we can complement our own system, and then walk away with a document, also a comprehensive document that we can utilize in our grant fundings, because obviously we're probably going to go for quite a few grants when we go for this 400 acres and then all the other projects we're trying to get done. So we are gonna walk away with several documents, and a lot of it's just gonna really involve all that public input. So it's an aggressive timeline. Well, I shouldn't say aggressive. It's a fabulous timeline. Let me back up one second. It's a fabulous timeline in the fact that you're gonna see some stuff really start moving. We'll keep you posted as we go along. Our idea on this first phase is to capture people while they're out for the summer, and maybe they're out in our parks and they're doing all the great things we want them to do. And so you will probably see some of that happen in the June and July. That's the idea. So now that we can execute on the contract, it is a matter of kind of finalizing that and getting that team back on board so that we can come up with the timeline on moving forward. So hopefully everybody will see some meetings, some things get lined up, and we'll certainly keep this group up to date on all of those as they get scheduled. Additional phases, all of the things after this is going to include all of those lovely, zoning, permitting, environmental design, bid contracts, construction. Those are a lot of the things that have to happen for anything at this scope, but that's what moving down the road is going to mean. Once we know what it is we're kind of looking for, then we know how to go about doing that. Public input, I just mentioned this. This is going to be one of those things that we are going to be really comprehensive and trying to get a little bit of everybody in different venues. So a lot of might be meetings, it might be the survey. There's going to be a bunch of different ways for us to see it. I know it's small print, but basically they've got some charrettes and some other things that we're going to be able to do with the public. Yeah, focus groups. Yeah. This group, ETC, is the subcontractor for this piece of the assessment, and they've done a great job. This is just an example of one they just completed for the city of Wilmington. Very similar to ours, but ours obviously will look a little bit different as far as that list goes, but it's a qualitative survey that will go out on an objective standpoint from garnering that information on what our citizens want right now. What is it that they're looking for? What is it that we can fulfill? And then it'll break it down in something very similar to this. So we're excited to be able to add that to our master plan and move forward with, how do we make that work with our own system as well as the 400 acres. Next steps. Obviously, we just got the green light to execute the contract, so we're working on that right now. This is going to go before the Jacksonville Tourism Development Authority. The nice thing with that idea is that they are hopefully going to assist with funding some of this. I know you saw the dollar amount there with the $386,000. I think Anthony Prinz is going to go before the board and say, what can we do here to work together and partner on that? So that goes before them on May 22nd, which is Thursday. And then you can see those meetings I mentioned just a minute ago. Kickoff meetings in June, mid-June is the tentative timeline, and then a lot of that public engagement probably in July, August, and September, while people are again out and about and enjoying our facilities. It might be a nice time. That's pretty much it for the 400 acres. I wanted to just give everybody an update. If you have any questions, I can certainly do my best to answer. I will definitely keep this group posted when it comes time for your input and your feedback. Obviously, we want to make sure that you guys have a voice in all of this because you are, one of our largest stakeholders for sure. So nothing is scheduled as of right now. We're still working on it, but stay tuned. It's very, very exciting for us.
I wonder if one of these people could come visit us. Come to one of our meetings.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think they have in their contract actually I know they're coming to a council meeting, and I believe they're coming to meet with us as well.
Okay.
They have several meetings and several things that they're going to come to.
Is there an artist rendering, or is that in the works too, of what they're looking at, the plan that they're looking at?
Yeah, we have no concept of, we don't want to make any assumptions right now on what that would look like right now. So once they have a good sense and we all have a good sense of what is going to maybe go out there, then they'll have more information to maybe put a rendering together. But that is part of phase one. So at the end of phase one, we will have an artist rendering.
Right. So really what we're saying is we can't have an artist rendering because the public hasn't told us what we need.
Okay, that's where I was going to go with that, is when we do the public meetings that it looks like they're happening in July, that's when you're gonna get a lot of that feedback.
Correct.
And your council has been working on that, correct? I mean, you had that group put together that was looking at different things.
Right, they were, but this group is gonna, like you said, after we get the public input, then we'll start realizing we were looking at what can be done before, because we were looking at fields and the possibility of a facility. But these folks are actually gonna,
Yeah, and there's
go in
a
the direction
whole, there's
of where
just,
the people, it comes down to the public.
right.
That's what,
There's just so many things tied into this. The public, tourism, those sorts of things, partnerships. There's just so many potential things we can tie into this that we and they talked to us about that and said, we don't want to bring you a rendering of what it can be out there because we don't know what
We
your
don't know what
community
you want.
wants.
Yeah.
And that was in itself impressive because some of the firms did bring us some renderings.
Their thoughts.
And they were beautiful renderings, don't get me wrong, but they may have not been what Jacksonville needed either, so.
And sometimes artists and people in the arts get a little personal about what they do, or I could say what we do and what people, it's like we'll drive the idea of what we want instead of what the public wants, and we don't want to do that.
And Councilman, I think you'll agree because we're taking very much a phased approach to this. So we may not see a true rendering of the site for years because we would take it one step at a time. So you may see renderings that are site-specific to some of
Sure.
the acreage, so.
Sure. So the public involvement is gonna begin in July, and we're gonna advertise that?
They're going
on
to,
social
but we'll
media or-
obviously be.
Yeah, put it all out there, for sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
Got a question. What neighborhood is most affected by these 400 acres?
Williamsburg Plantation.
Williamsburg Plantation.
Back or backyard?
Where I just killed a water moccasin.
This sounds like common sense, I hope so, but I would make darn sure that neighborhood,
Oh,
if I had to go day to day, door to door,
we've had one meeting
Yeah,
with the group.
right.
They did already,
to make
so-
sure they understand or they say it's okay, to make sure they're
They will
aware of
definitely
what's
be
going
affected.
on. 'Cause you could run into a lot of problems,
Yes, sir.
both directly and indirectly. So I just wanted to say, this, give that a little push, because you're starting off really bad if you can't get that neighborhood in which that area is there.
Well, I think that's part of what we're trying to do here with this group of people we've hired. When we think about 400 acres, we tend to focus on what are we putting out there? Well, there's got to be accessible ways to get to the 400 acres. We don't need to forget about that. We are impacting people's lives who live in this community, in this neighborhood, and that's part of our plan is to do traffic analysis and to make sure that there's ways to get in there where you're not disturbing the neighborhood to the highest extent, if you will.
And that definitely has to be a high priority.
Good questions.
Any other questions? Okay, well, I'll let you handle the next go round.
Okay. So if you've been keeping up with council and some of the things on social media as well as JD News, you'll notice that we have been working and trying to partner with some local entrepreneurs who are Eli and Arlene Patino to bring minor league baseball to Jacksonville. We're very excited about that. We have a tentative lease agreement with them. Hopefully that will be voted on by council, I think, on June 20th. The minor league team is going to be a member of the old North State League, and I'm probably not going to get this right, but they're like one of the oldest minor league leagues. So the good news is, where are we looking for them to play? Jack Amiat.
And it's a college league.
College league.
Correct. Yeah, and that's a great point, because one of the things that was discussed that night, and we obviously will discuss it a little tonight, at least make the public aware as well as you guys, is these players are, they go through a drafting process and they'll be selected, and their home will be Jacksonville for a couple of months during the summer. And if anybody wants to house these people, there's opportunities there for that, because they are college kids that are going to have to relocate to do this sort of thing. So just bear that in mind if you're listening and you enjoy baseball and you have a room in your house and you say, I want to help out. I know I have some friends that are in the Morehead City area that have done that in the past, and maybe that's something you and the public are interested in, and just keep that in mind. But we're obviously very excited to showcase Jack Amiette. We're obviously excited to partner with a group who brings some activity to Jack Amiette that we haven't had in the past. And it may be a stepping stone down the road for us, even potentially at the 400 acres, where this is something, this is a great pilot project for us to see how is this going to go? How does this work out? So we can always talk about it, but we're going to get some hopefully hands-on experience with it. The lease itself, some of the highlights, you'll see, our agreement will start with them in 2024 on June 1st. And for the first year, we won't charge them. Rent for the next 2 years will be negotiated sometime in 2025. Obviously, we want them to get off to a good start. We want it to be successful for people in the community. I think this is going to go very well. I think it's going to be well attended. We'll probably have anywhere between 25 to 30 games at Jack Amiette, depending on. And then obviously they have playoffs if they make the playoffs, and we'll just see how that goes. But it's a very exciting time for both Susan and I, between 400 acres and getting a master plan for our whole system. And then this is exciting for us, and it should be exciting for the residents of Jacksonville. This is just another opportunity of things people will have in our community to do things, and we're happy to be a part of it. Any questions about it?
Will there be a charge for the games?
Yeah, there will be a charge for the game, and while I don't know what those charges are going to be, I would expect them to be somewhat nominal. But
He said $10 a ticket the other night.
Yeah.
Then will they be selling concessions, or will you be looking to have food trucks there?
I think a little bit of both. I think that it's going to be solely their lease, but I think that they're looking at their options.
Right.
I think the idea is probably food trucks, just because we don't really have a concession stand.
Yeah.
But
It's a good opportunity for our food trucks, for a lot of our businesses.
Right.
And I will just add to this, also, while council didn't approve the lease just as of yet, they did approve for the purchase of some bleachers. So we don't have a lot that we need to get done over there, but we do have some infrastructure to accommodate. And the TDA was already going down a road of purchasing mobile bleachers. And so this is just a win-win. They're going to purchase the bleachers so that we can certainly house the number of people at Jack Amiette. So they did get the green light to move forward with them purchasing those bleachers. And, once it gets executed, we will be able to, start down that road. Obviously, we have about a year to kind of get that ball field up and running. But we certainly, I think, it's attainable for sure.
How will it affect the games that are typically played now there?
It'll be fine. We have a couple of groups out there playing. Carolina Men's League has been playing, and they play on Sundays, and I don't think it'll conflict with them. Some of the schools use it, but it won't conflict with them since this is strictly a summer league. It's going to complement actually really nicely.
Okay.
So
exciting times.
yeah.
So I'm just going to go ahead. Any more questions about the lease or the minor league baseball, or even about?
I'll mention this. There's another league that's going to be considered. I think city manager is supposed to be meeting with that group. I was trying to think of it, and I sent him a message, but I don't have it. If I get it prior to, when we dismiss, I'll bring it
I
up.
think it was scheduled for tomorrow or something like that.
Thank you.
But
So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the rest of my report. You'll have to bear with me a little bit. Generally, I'm able to go off the top of my head with some of this stuff, but I couldn't do it. I got a little too much here for me to just come off the top of my head. So hopefully you've seen some of these things that I'm getting ready to talk about within the park system and the parks that you work with and you look at. So if you have, Susan's going to talk to you about the Jamboree soon, and what a great event. Hopefully you noticed when you went to the Jamboree, or if you've ridden by the Commons, that we've done a lot of landscaping and upgrading over there to the park and ride area, as well as the main parking lot in the front of the building. Those are things we've worked on since we've last seen each other. For those of you at Richard Ray Park and Kerr Street Park, hopefully you've seen some new water fountains with bottle fillers attached to them, which is a nice little add-on that we have in our parks now. So you're able to fill your bottles of water up instead of just getting a drink of water. We have pressure wash the boardwalks at Thompson and Sturgeon City. Doesn't seem like that's much, but if you look over there, there's no water access over there. So to be able to pressure wash it isn't the easiest thing, and it's not the quickest thing we can do, but we do have, we call it a water hog that we use, that we can kind of create pressure, but that worked out for us. Obviously, we're doing our routine mowing, our routine ball fields, getting ready, those sorts of things. That's part of who we are and what we do. We have put out some insecticides to treat fire ants on especially the ball fields. We really focus on the ball fields for that. It's an expensive product, but it keeps us fire ant free for any of the people who are obviously diving and rolling around on the grass. We don't want them going into fire ants. We were able to assist environmental and appearance with Arbor Day, which was held at Northwoods Recreation Center, if you're not familiar with that. So just be aware. And obviously we helped set up with the Jacksonville Jamboree, the Spring Fling, which was for city employees late last week, as well as our police memorial event that recognizes our officers. And we're preparing for, there's a Veterans Day ceremony the Monday or Sunday right before
There's
Memorial
one,
Day.
I think it's
next week.
it's a Vietnam Memorial Day.
Right.
One day, I think that's Saturday morning, and then one on Monday.
I think the one on Monday is the one which is right at the Veterans Cemetery, I believe, yes. If you haven't noticed this, and recently we have done something kind of neat. We're trying something and we haven't told anybody that we've done this, so we kind of just did it and wanted to see what type of reaction we would get. I had it out there long enough to get a reaction. So I think you're familiar with the grove, what we refer to as the grove, where the 273 trees are, the Chinese pistache that recognize the fallen military and civilians in Beirut. And we added some solar lights to each tree out there. So when it gets dark, those trees are lit up now. It's
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's amazing.
have you been by it?
Yeah, I've seen it several
Yeah.
times.
It's kind of cool. If you have the opportunity and you're out at night, take a ride by it. We're excited about that. Some of the things you're going to see from us when we talked about the water fountains, those of you that have Wilson Bay and Sherwood and Brook Valley, we're bringing them there too. Just give us some time. Richard Ray will be remulching the landscape beds moving forward. And some of the things that the comments you're going to see us doing is replacing some trees around the youth field and hopefully give the crepe myrtles a better chance of survival. And then removing some trees in the adult field areas because they actually impede the view of the game. So they were positioned not in the best spot. So we're going to replant those or move those and put those in areas where hopefully you'll get a little shade out there, but people will be able to see the games that are being played. If you take the trail, we've installed some new trash cans recently on the trail, especially around the Jacksonville station, and we'll be adding some benches to the trail heading towards Northeast Creek, the pedestrian trail there. And then at Northeast Creek, the front entrance of the Commons, around the flagpole and the cemetery sign bed and the Riverwalk LP Willingham area, you're gonna see us do some flower change outs here in the near future. So be looking for those sorts of things. That's where we're heading, as well as doing any of the ball fields and things like that. That's my report. Any questions about that?
All right. So hopefully each of you got our new brochure, spring and summer. Megan and staff did a great job getting that together. So she brought extras. I think she mentioned to you, if anybody would like some extras to take back to people, by all means, we would love for you to share what we have for our spring and summer activities. We have a lot of things going on. I'll just mention that our summer day camps have been extremely well received. They're all full. So it's a good problem to have. Obviously, we want to accommodate, but we will keep working on our capacities, but all of them are full. So that also, we have additional camps. We've gotten back into our athletic camps, volleyball, basketball. We have, I think, some other non-traditional camps, like we're working on a rugby and some other things that I'll be quiet until we get those finalized. But we do have some really nice athletic camps as well. Also, for the first time in a few years since COVID, we're back into swim lessons. So we're very happy we were able to get an instructor for swim lessons. We do utilize a pool at the Reserve apartment complex. They've been very good with us, partnering with us over there. So we will be utilizing that pool Monday through Friday in the mornings to provide swim lessons for all ages. In addition to all of that good stuff, I just want to give an update. Jack Emiette is doing great. We're thrilled. It's getting busy. We have some great activities throughout the day. Mr. Rogers, I see him there just about every other day because Azeka School is utilizing it on a lot of their PE and what's going on. We have pickleball is back over there. A lot of our other groups are utilizing it. And then we're opening it up on weekends. We are happy to get pickleball started over there. Line dancing will be starting over there. So we have some really great activities that Jack Amiette is full up and running. And then obviously the summer is going to be another great, we're just thrilled to have it back up and running, honestly. So we were 4 years without it. So good stuff. I will just go ahead and give you an update on a couple of things in the immediate future, which is this weekend. Obviously, we have Memorial Day. We are very happy to announce that we've been able to partner with the 2nd Division Marine Corps Band, and they're providing a concert for us at the amphitheater on Friday night, 6 to 8. We're just happy to be able to kick off the holiday weekend with that. It's a great way to do that for our folks and our citizens. So if anybody's watching, by all means, come out Friday night to the amphitheater. 2nd Division Marine Corps Band have come out to our jamboree and they've done a phenomenal job. So we're happy about that. It also is our kickoff to our splash pads. They will be open. Please, if any of you get questions or you have anybody you hear, they will be open as of Saturday this weekend. Both of them will be open. As you're aware, we couldn't open up Jack Amiette's splash pad last year because of the construction. So again, we're just thrilled that we have not only the facility, but now we can open that facility back up with both splash pads operating in full capacity for the entire summer. So we're happy about this weekend. We have lots of good stuff starting off for our citizens. So we did have a great jamboree. I will share some pictures with you at the end with our One City moment, but we had a phenomenal jamboree event just a few weeks ago. So I'll save that for after and fill you in on that. Any questions on anything, either for myself or for Michael?
I do have a
Yes,
question. No, it's a summer programs used to offer like 20 scholarships or
We
20.
provide, so we have a couple of options. So anybody watching, we provide financial assistance. So if you're a city resident and you are requesting financial assistance, that's a reduced rate, 50%. So we offer that for financial assistance. We provide scholarships. We have a great partnership with River of Life. So we provide scholarships as well. And then we also offer an enrichment program, which is a separate all-day program that we're going to be providing this summer. And that is also with the partnership from River of Life Church. As you are aware, they do give us a donation, and they've done a phenomenal job with giving us funding that can help offset those full-day programs and that scholarship program. And then in addition to the financial aid that the city absorbs, the 50% for the city residents.
I know there was 20, I think, was it 20 in the past that went to Sandy Run Apartments? Well, how was that done?
So the way that it, the way that it used to work is that we would go and into Sandy Run Myrtlewood circles in those areas and actually sign them up right then and on the spot. Usually you would get between Myrtlewood Circle and Sandy Run about the 15 to 25, just out of that area.
So that's changed.
No, we're
No,
still
it
doing
hasn't.
that. We're
Okay,
gonna,
still the same? Okay,
so we'll be doing the same thing. That's that enrichment camp.
okay, all right.
So we have the enrichment camp at Kerr Street. So we'll go pick those kids up, which we've done in the past. So we'll go to Sandy Run, Country Club Villas, Plaza Manor, and Georgetown, and we'll go pick them up. And now it's a full day program, and we'll be doing it at Kerr Street Rec Center.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and that is completely subsidized with that donation from River of Life Church.
Okay.
So great question.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And we do have spaces available on that one. So if there's anybody watching and is interested in that, we do have some spaces for that one. Any other questions?
Thank you, Susan, Mike.
Okay,
Good job. Appreciate it.
thank you.
Now we'll go to Council Liaison Report. Councilman Jackson.
Thank you, thank you. Good evening, everybody. We're getting to the end of the budget. Talks. Last meeting, we had a public comment. So the public was able to come out and speak on, some of the things that they had on their minds concerning what was going on in the city. But also you guys covered some of the things that I was gonna cover concerning that. Thank you for that, because there's a whole lot more detail.
Yeah, there is.
But I know one thing I did want to mention is the New River Splash that occurred.
Yeah.
Great program. Jacksonville Onslow Sports Commission was able to do. And it was held May 13th. So it was up to 53% concerning economic impact. This year was $12,473. And they have been affected by COVID over the last couple of years. But they had 98 additional participants this year, which was 291, and 60 room nights, which is up 47%. People really enjoyed the event. I spoke to people from different places throughout the city. It's the first year that is part of the what is it?
US Triathlon?
The North Carolina Triathlon
Yeah, it's
Series.
a sanctioned
Right.
group. Really
And,
big stuff.
Met some inspiring folks of all ages out there. And I told them I can't even try. So I'll do what I can to just walk. But anyway, it was a great day. And that's it for me, really, right now, concerning athletics in the area, sports.
Okay. See, Planning Advisory Board Liaison Report. Homer.
Well, they say beware the short agenda. So the last meeting that we had a short agenda, but after about an hour and 20 minutes, we had been through the entire Unified Development Ordinance. And so we're in the process of looking back over that ordinance and a little more in detail now to see if there are things in there that we would tweak. For example, maybe parking for restaurants that have limited indoor dining and a lot of drive-through dining. There may need to be some changes on how many parking spaces you allocate, especially now that you've got a lot of these places that allocate parking spaces for mobile pickup and things of that nature. That's just one of the things that we probably need to revisit, because when we last put it together, things have changed. The whole dynamics of the restaurant industry has changed quite a bit. So it's going to be a long process. I'll try to keep you up to date on what we do, because we didn't expect it to be as detailed as it was, but Ryan did a good job going through it all, and we were sitting there going like, this is a long meeting. So we're looking forward to it. We're excited that we'll look at things like billboards, because even that's changed, because now we've got electronic billboards, which that's totally changed the name of the game. So much has changed that we need to probably look at everything and go back over it, because we had talked about drive-throughs and stacking that would occur back on the roads
in cases of businesses that were extremely popular. And it's hard to make a rule, a steadfast rule, because you're almost at a point where you say, okay, if you're a popular restaurant, we want you to have more, and if you're not quite as popular, we don't want you to have as much. And I don't know that we can do that because we can't pick winners and losers, and we shouldn't. The public does that. But what we currently do is that, we have standards. They meet the standards, and if there's a problem, we get together. The staff gets together with the restaurant and talks about what things they can do to make it better. And so far, it's worked out. It's a little reactionary because it has to happen first, but so far it's worked out. But because most of the people that have been involved are concerned about the safety of their customers and the safety of the people that drive by. So anyway, that's my report.
Okay, park reports, Wooten Park, it's in great shape, restrooms are fine, grounds were clean, they had just cut the grass a couple of days or a day before. All the equipment was good, basketball court, nets, everything. The only thing was our little water fountain. Needs waters, doesn't work.
No water?
No water. I pushed the little button, nothing happened. Surprise. So, but besides that, that park is in excellent shape. They do a really good job.
Thank you.
So, Lori?
Richard Ray, you already brought up the flowers, the foliage, plants. It looks beautiful out there. So you can tell spring is in the air and people out running and doing things out in the area. Jack Emiette, very busy. I've seen basketball after basketball player out there playing, especially if you go by right now, there's probably 2 teams out there playing around. I think the plants that have put out about Jack Emiette are just outstanding, the trees, and it's coming around really nicely. I did a side note, I had a family member up from Florida, and I had to hear about how bad the roadway was coming into Jacksonville, and then I had to explain to him, because he's like, aren't you on some board that does this? I'm like, no, Uncle Kenny, I don't cut the grass, but I'll make sure. But he was impressed that you could really tell, no matter where he went in Jacksonville, where City of Jacksonville picks up. And he rest assured that he was going to write a letter to Governor Cooper about the issue. But so kudos to the team again for keeping
We'll pass that along.
City of Jacksonville looking great. So.
Thank you. That is intentional too.
And I will compliment Bay Road. I've noticed it the last couple of weeks. I drive by there and it really spots up the area.
If I can just, and look, one of the major changes we've had this year is obviously we've had some people leave us through retirements and things like that over the last couple of years. And we've got overall, I would say generally a younger staff, but we're more cross-trained and we're better prepared for different sorts of things. But I don't want to minimize the fact that our seasonal help is back at numbers. We're not at pre-COVID numbers, but we have 14 seasonal people. And I will tell you, we've worked the last couple of summers with like 6. And that is we are able to get to some things that we just have not been able to get to. Not that we didn't want to get to it, it's just we didn't have the resources to get to it. And obviously I'm setting myself up for failure as we move forward because the growing season is coming right in front of us. But we're as well prepared thanks to social medias, advertisements, HR, or whatever, whoever it is. We have 14 people, and that helps make a difference, trust me.
Okay, thank you. Homer?
Branchwood was great. I didn't see anybody there when I went, but it still looks in great shape. Sherwood, saw some young men way off in the distance on the swings, and I didn't go down to bother because I figured that would freak them out a little bit. My water fountain was off also, but and 4 or 5 years ago, I just would have reached through in there and turned it on, but now it's got a cover on it, which looks really good, but it keeps me from turning it on, which I probably shouldn't do anyway, but anyway.
Thank you.
Our water fountain's not, and just in case Mr. Woodard's listening, I did hold my hand just right, I did tap it 3 times and pushed the button and still had no water, because he used to tease me about that.
Yeah, prime.
He said I wasn't holding my hand just right. But other than that, everything was great.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Yolanda?
Brook Valley, my water fountain works at Brook Valley. I tried it. There were actually a lot of kids over there playing when I had gone by, and it looks good. It looks good. There was it looked like the garbage had just been taken out, so there was a few little items on the ground. Just pick them up. It was no big deal. But Northwoods, I already sent you that little issue with the steps on Northwoods. Besides that, look good. Thank you.
so much.
Okay, is there any, that concludes our park reports. Is there any comments anyone would like to make from the committee? Okay. Next one's One City Moment.
So I mentioned we had the Jamboree just a couple of weeks ago, and I just gotta say, we had a tremendous day. The weather was on our side. It was a beautiful day, and people, I think, are just ready to be out and enjoy some nice things we're able to offer for that event. I can only say that based on the lack of parking and the amount of people that were trying to get to the event, we had a tremendous turnout, and so we were very pleased to be able to provide it, as always, to our citizens and to our kids. Lots of happy kids, great activities. It just went really, really well. This is our petting zoo. It goes well every year, but I mean, we had a tremendous lineup of entertainment. We had great food trucks, tons of vendors. The stars just aligned for us. We did have basketball. Talk about economic impact, Mr. Jackson. We obviously, we do work with people that provide some athletic events. 2 weekends in a row. He maxed out with 40 teams on both weekends. So we did the older boys the weekend before, and then the young, not boys and girls on the weekend before, and then the younger ones on the weekend of. So it really was just a nice way to provide that additional opportunity for all those visiting families, in addition to the softball tournament that we hosted as well. So it was a great weekend. We just hope we can replicate it and have as good a weather and have as great of a turnout and do great things for the event next weekend. So if anybody came to it, I commend you on getting a parking spot. If you drove by it and just said, nope, I'm gonna keep going, I don't blame you. I had several of those as well. If you jumped the curb and found a parking spot, okay. Lots of people did that as well. I'll just mention, this is, I think, Melanie, this is our line dance group. That gentleman at the front is gonna be providing line dance program at Jack Emiet. So they had a lot of fun out there with some great interaction with our public and our folks. So it was a good day. Yeah, it was a great day. Hopefully, when we have events like that, if you ever hear anything from the public or you get any feedback on it, it's what we're trying to do. So any questions on that?
I'm glad you reported about Jack Emiet. I'm glad it's doing well.
Absolutely.
Everybody's going, having a good time.
Mr. Ross, let me mention one
Yes,
more
sir,
thing.
sure.
The name of that league is the Coastal Plains League, and they do have a team in Morehead City. And I guess I should mention this also. I was appointed to the TDA, so I look forward to being able to support my city and community in that.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So thank you.
We work closely with the TDA, so you'll be doubly knowledgeable on both ends, won't you? Thank you for that. They support a lot of our events and programs, so we appreciate that. And they did help us support with the Jamboree and marketing on that, so we appreciate the TDA support.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, since we don't have a quorum during the meeting, our next meeting is July 24th. Appreciate
See you
everyone
then.
coming.
See you then.
Yes,
Keep
sir.
you posted on the other stuff.
Thank you.
Thank
Take care.
Thank you.